Hey, what's up, y'all? Today is Wednesday, July 29th, and what's going on in the world of biotech? Well, let's take a look. What's going on? Let's see. Gonna go to Biopharma Dive first. Capricorn, Duchenne cell therapy voted down by the FDA panel. What panel is this? I have no idea. Is it what is it called? Uh, yeah. Huh. Let's take a look. Damn. Damn. This is not important to what we're trying to cover, but it's just interesting. MapLight CEO on what investors missed in the biotech schizophrenia data. Well, why didn't he say so before the investors missed it? Why didn't he say something when he was disclosing that data? That's really odd. It just seems like he's trying to do something to water under the bridge. Well, good luck with that. Earning roundup, Biogen, AstraZeneca, GSK, Caldera, Vidya add to recent flurry. This is interesting. Emerging biotech. GS prepare for patent clip. Yeah, we already did that. The FDA was all in on AI, positioning biotech for the next growth cycle. Sponsored by Icon from Confidence to Capital, positioning biotech for the next growth cycle. There's really nothing that I want to comment on this story or this headline, but I want to comment on this photo. So you think this is what Chinese biotech looks like? Two chicks right here studying an iPad, and these three guys, young guys, fine looking young guys, just poring over data being shown on a laptop screen. Bullshit, okay? If you think that's what Chinese biotech looks like, you are out of your fucking mind. This is nothing but a, what do you call it? Misrepresentation of, what is it? Isn't it? Is it called a travesty of of people's imagination of what China biotech looks like? China's biotech is a sweatshop, okay? They fucking work to death, and people will not look this. Actually, they don't look that happy to begin with, but they will not look happy in any photo that you would snap at them. Okay, so yeah, take that. In order to create value, you sacrifice life. That's just the way it is. Okay, understood? No such thing as work-life balance. We're all fucking robots here, aren't we? Minions, cogs in a machine. Bullshit. We have what we need. Biogen CEO happy. Oh, they're talking about their earnings call. Christopher V. Baja is easing off the acquisition for a while. Adcom shoots down Capricorn's Duchenne cell therapy. Sucks for those patients, but data's data. Merck briefly post trial plan for PD-1 VEGF and TROP to ADC combo. Low-tech chemotherapy nanoparticles treated deadly brain tumor. I don't know if that's really interesting. Novo Nordisk fails to dismiss lawsuit over Kagoshima readout. Processor acquire Vidya for potential rival to Rhapsido. Yeah, Rhapsody. What is the Rhapsody? Wasn't that like a pirating software for downloading music back in the early 2000s called Rhapsody? Real Rhapsody. There we go. Real Rhapsody. Rival to Rhapsody. All right. Let's take a look. What's the panel? What is the panel? FDA rejected. Flexible. Marty Markery, no longer a conditioner. Capricorn is among those crying foul of what the administration didn't hand them. They claimed a late-stage study showed Their myocell help preserve upper limb function and the heart's ability to pump blood in treatment recipient. Revive the approval chances of multiple drugs. Has delayed. However, briefing doctors have been FDA ahead of the meeting review and another discount between Capricorn and the agency. Review argued that their missed the initial phase 3 study goals that the benefit of Capricorn trumpeted were essentially a mirage. Mirage, that's the word that I'm looking for. Or was it? Yeah, mirage. Right here. This right here, this picture, that's a mirage of what China's biotech is, okay? Uh, what's more, just as the meeting started, the researchers published the full results of phase 3 trials in the Lancet. In it, investigator described deramicel's impact on Duchenne-related cardiomyopathy, the leading cause of death among patients, as not subtle, but the paper also revealed treatment will actually miss statistical significance on purported heart benefits Capricorn previously touted, leading Capricorn to issue a clarification. Actually, all I wanted to know was what's the name of this committee. Huh. It didn't say. All right, cool. So, what's going to happen to Capricorn now? Stocks fail or fall? Let's see. Stronger case. Yeah, still the data a little more favorable. Believe me, I really, really want to see something work in this area, and there's some glimpse there. John Tierling, a professor of clinical medicine at University of California, San Francisco. If it did appear to leave an opportunity for a different outcome, though panelists voted against the evidence Duchenne related, they encouraged the debate their myocells impact upper limb function. There, some advisors felt Capricorn had a stronger case, albeit still unproven one. The data on the measure were a little more favorable. Okay, so it looks like they're not getting an approval. Although the outcome's opinion does not equal FDA's decision. Okay. Caldera Vivida add to flurry of biotech mergers. Startup are part of surge among young companies equipped with advancing drug prospect, quickly pivoting to the public markets. Caldera Therapeutics and Nvidia Therapeutics have struck a pair of deals with struggling biotechnology firms. Caldera, which was launched just 7 months ago with 122 million in venture funding, will merge with Synlogic. The house brought in 270 million of concurrent private financing to support a drug prospect license from China's Queen motherfuckers called CLD 423 that the drug aims at the proteins TL18, and this is a very popular target, by the way, and IL-23P19, two well-known drug targets involved in inflammation. Okay, so this is not interesting. So Caldera is not interesting because they're merging with the company that has in-licensed a Chinese asset. Not very innovative. Not that the Chinese asset is not innovative, but the idea of licensing an asset from a company from another country, which has probably already generated some early clinical data, that is not innovative. So I don't want to spend another minute just looking at it. Okay. Synlogic went public via its own reverse merger, but its lead program struggled against a rare genetic. Caldera's latest participant in a recent run of merger deals involving biotechs built around China licensing assets. Avira and Sarafa have both announced similar pacts over the last months. Others with advanced drug prospects are finding better access to public markets too. Vidia has a candidate called VT7208 that is sees as having potential to treat conditions of food allergies, chronic, spontaneous. That drug's near in phase 2 testing and acquisition by Processa Pharmaceuticals announced Wednesday will support the effort. Like how they are, NVIDIA also announced a sizable financing around 200 million private funding around more than 10 firms. Their newer type called Bruton tyrosine kinase inhibitor, the drug best known for the impact on blood cancers, but drug making research developed prospect that can slip past blood-brain barrier to potentially treat neurological conditions. NVIDIA faces stiff competition from tolebrutinib, Sanofi, approved in Europe in the form of MS. Roche is nearing a chance of clearing a different BTK blocker. Both deals announcements are expect to help fund company operations into 2029. Okay, let's take a look at the acquisition. Processa Pharmaceuticals announced its acquisition of Vidya Therapeutics and approximately 200 million in concurrent private placement to advance BTK inhibitor VT72808 in multiple disease areas. Cool. Cool. I think this is the same story. Processor acquires Vidya for potential BT rival to Novartis' Rapsido. The all-stock deal will secure Processa as an oral BTK inhibitor. Under Processa's ownership, plans to launch phase 2 studies in food allergies and CSU later this year. CSU stands for chronic spontaneous urticaria and relapsing multiple sclerosis. Let's see what kind of diseases. Medical condition causes itchy hives and deep skin swelling to happen over 6 weeks without a clear external trigger. What are this? Relapsing multiple sclerosis. What does that mean? Well, let's take a look. Itchy hives, wheals, raised red or skin color bumps that turn white when pressed and usually last less than 24 hours. Suddenly appearance of a new neurological symptoms and the worsening of old ones. Hours. What is multiple sclerosis anyway? Unpredictable autoimmune disease affects the central nervous system, primarily targeting the brain, spinal cord, myelin damage, signal disruption. Most frequent diagnosed young adults aged 20 and 40 and affects women at much higher rate than men. Numbness, tingling, fatigue. So these are symptoms. Motility issues, vision changes. Yeah, let's take a look at multiple sclerosis. Okay, let's start Googling this thing. I mean, not Googling, pardon me. We are asking Gemini, what is the history of discovery of not multiple sclerosis? No. The drug is called VT72808. Where are you? Gemini. It's VT728. Come on, come on. Video. Yeah, how much did they acquire it for? It didn't say. Finance this eventful clinical timeline with Florida-based Processa. They didn't say how much. Huh. Alright. Doesn't really matter. Not an important question. As a startup and its discovery of VT. Let's see. Processa. Didn't say how much. Vidia Therapeutics is a clinical stage biotech startup focused on developing advanced therapies for immune related and central nervous system diseases, founded and led by experienced biotechnology executives. Dr. Sheila Gujrati company established itself focusing on next generation targeted therapies. Their flagship asset VT7208 is an oral Bruton tyrosine kinase BTK inhibitor. How it was designed. Earlier generation BTK faced clinical challenges, including off-target kinase activity, can lead to liver toxicity and hepatotoxicity, and a lack of sufficient penetration into the central nervous system. They rational design engineered VT7208 to overcome these exact liabilities. High selectivity, design less reactive, C penetration, low doses engineered to achieve robust. Before they successfully progressed through preclinical testing and phase 1 trials. Early data show once daily low microgram doses produce predictable dose-dependent pharmacokinetic, excellent cerebral spinal fluid (CSF) and peripheral exposure, and a clean safety profile with no serious adverse events reported. Therapeutic focus and recent milestones. They capture significant industry attention. The culminating Processa Pharmaceuticals acquiring Vidia alongside a $200 million private placement backed by prominent healthcare investors such as Bain Capital Life Sciences. All right. Good to know. And they still didn't tell us how much it sold for. How was it funded initially? How do they get their funding before they get the asset? As a private startup, they kept financial details relatively private. However, looking at the company's trajectory, early operational phase and discovery work on VT728 were backed by special life sciences investors driven by its core leadership. The startup gained massive financing, backed by prominent investors. So no information. They kept this a secret. Interesting, huh? How many financing rounds did have as a start up? Did not publicly disclose the exact number. So somebody bankrolled this shit. Named Seed. Going through it traditionally as named Seed, Series A, Series B. The company operated under private financing, specialized life science backer until its major publicly announced transaction. Oh, Processa. All right. Cool. Do we also want to spend some time to look at a market here? I don't know. You guys interested? Anybody writing to me? Anybody watching this live stream? Oh no, hell no. How dare I ask that question? Yeah, maybe we're gonna take a look at this one. Sarozytis Therapeutics. I mean, yesterday we covered this one, right? Ovaporexaton. Yeah, let's just take a look at this one. Cowshy, Cowshy, Cowshy. I love that Cowshy commercial. What the hell? Oh, it went down. So it started on July 2nd. Has a $264 volume. If FDA decision of saroglitazar by Zydus is full approval or accelerated. In 26. Okay, let's Google this. Let's start a new tab. What is the probability of FDA approving Okay. There's no official percentage. The clinical data and regulatory strongly favors approval. Accepted new drug application. Granted priority review. Adults either combined with They assigned by FDA on May 28th, which shortens the standard time to 6 months. So 6 plus May 11/20. So leading up to the PDUFA date of November 27th. Eric 3 treated patients achieving placebo biliary cholangitis, primary biliary cholangitis. Isn't there an inflammation of the gallbladder? Let's see. What is biliary cholangitis? From called primary cirrhosis, a chronic autoimmune liver disease slowly destroys the small bile ducts in the liver. Damage causes bile to build up, leading to inflammation, scarring, and potential liver failure. It's horrible. Extreme tiredness. I think fatigue is like a very, very common symptom for every kind of disease. Severe itchy skin, dry eyes and mouth, yellow skin in the eyes, causes and risk. Okay. Cholangitis, biliary. Small bile ducts in the liver. Huh. Okay. Got it. So what should we do? Developed by Zydus. Simultaneous 2 molecular switch called PPAR alpha and PPAR gamma. Yeah, what about Zydus? What is Zydus? Let's see. Let's take a look. Is this first of all, before we see if it's hiring, what's INR? Where it's an Indian company. Bombay Stock Exchange, huh? Interesting. Huh. So I would venture to say that it's an Indian well, Indian person. How politically incorrect of me. Who started this market, and he put down $286. Zydus. And now they're seeking approval in the United States. Cool. Good luck. Wholly owned subsidiary. Parent company, Zydus Life Science Limited, publicly listed in India. Uh-huh. Okay, that's enough on cow sheet. Let's just start Instagramming. What are we Instagramming? Stop notifying me. Sell the company for $400 million. Do it. Do it. The Rock. What the hell is this? Not Zydus. I don't give a shit about Zydis. I want to just see patients with biliary cholangitis. No, actually, that's not the disease. Multiple sclerosis. I think this is, well, how about let's take a look at both diseases. Zydis works on the first one. What kind of creators would we? Let's see. Who are the best looking influencers? How about this one? This young lady right here. Go ahead.
Used to feel guilty about since being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Mhm.
Number one is saying no or canceling plans. With MS, there's no way to tell how you're going to feel one day to the next. I can go to
Well,
bed
I
feeling
think that just
absolutely great and wake
goes
up feeling awful.
through just about
And I've learned
everybody.
that protecting my health is way more important than trying to push through. Number two is resting when my body needs it. MS fatigue isn't just being
That's a
tired,
very
it's a
good
real
general
symptom.
advice.
So when my body's
I
telling me
agree.
to slow down and take a rest day,
I need
I'm
to
going to
take a
listen.
nap on the
And number
couch
three,
right
what
now.
took me a very long time to learn is asking for help. I always had the mindset that I had to do everything on my own and that asking for help was a sign of
Let's
weakness.
ask for
My
help from
diagnosis
what?
actually
Who?
taught me
Like
that asking for
your
help is not a
employer,
weakness, but it's a
society,
sign of
as
strength.
if the help
I've
would
learned that
come.
it's okay to be vulnerable and lean on the people who care
The
about
only
me.
thing that you can ever depend
Here
on
are
is
3
your
things that
family.
I refuse to feel
So,
guilty about since being
not very
diagnosed
good
with.
advice. But, it's about understanding what these patients are going through. So, mm, let's see what she has to say. Speak. Here. Fuck, why is my computer so slow?
In no particular order, some of the more common symptoms are blurred vision or double vision.
Just read
Double
it.
vision, by the way, is something
Stack
really,
of
really
paper. I
important.
could have
Double
just
vision
Googled it or
always has
ChatGPT
to be
this commodity.
evaluated. Blurred vision, too, don't get me wrong. But that double vision in particular,
Double
also
vision.
blurred vision, vision that is abnormal, it's
If you
got to be
have
evaluated. That
multiple
is a common
sclerosis.
symptom or, one that tends to happen. There's also something
How
called
long is this video?
red-green color
I'm not gonna be
distortion
sitting
that can
here all
happen as
night to
well.
watch this.
And
All right,
along the
thank you very
lines
much.
of vision,
That's it.
you can get
I'm
either
tired.
painful
Signing
vision
off.
or loss.
And thanks for watching today's live stream. We will so good luck to Vidya after his acquisition by Processa, and we wish that they have their success in the autoimmune and CNS their CNS trials. Okay. Signing off. Adios. Good night.